Good morning. Okay, so it's Thursday's maths today and the date is the 14th of January 2021, and your skill today is to represent improper fractions and mixed numbers pictorially. Okay, so that's with images and pictures. Okay, so fractions are really tricky, but you're absolutely smashing this, okay, so keep trying your best. You're doing a fantastic job, so really keep going. If you could write the date and the skill and underline that neatly, please, and then come back when you're ready for your arithmetic. Okay, so today's arithmetic. For your bronze challenge, you have got 12 times tables. For your silver challenge, you have got, you need to find the missing number. So you've got 84 plus something equals 207. Now to find the answer, you need to work out the inverse, okay? So you need to take away 84 from 207, and that will tell you what the missing number is. And then your gold skills today, you are dividing by 10 and 100. Okay? So take your time with those, and pause the video and come back when you're ready to go through the answers. Okay, well done. So these are your answers. So go through, just double check that you've got all the ones that you answered correct. If there's any that you didn't get right, as always, just go back and check through. Try to work it out again. See if you can identify where you went wrong. Okay, so let's just recap then. So yesterday you were looking at dividing to make fractions, and then on the day before you were looking at what a fraction is. Okay, so today we're going to represent fractions as a bar model, so pictorially, okay, or perhaps on a timeline. So just talk to your partner and recap from yesterday. There are 4 pieces of fruit in the fruit bowl and 5 children who would like some fruit. If they share the fruit equally, what fraction of fruit will they get each? Can you write your answer as a fraction? So pause the video, have a chat with the people around you. Okay, if you're at home, just have a good think. Perhaps you want to write some fractions down to help you. Okay, think about what you already know. So you know there's 4 pieces of fruit and there are 5 children. So thinking back to our numerator and our denominator, how do you know which one's which? What is our whole number? What are the pieces that we've got to divide? Okay, so pause the video, come back when you're ready. Okay, so each of these fraction circles represent 1 piece of fruit, okay, and each colour on the fraction circle represents a child. So we can see here that if we divide the orange, okay, which is the first circle, say, we can give 1 part to the yellow, 1 part to the blue, 1 part to the light blue, 1 part to the pink, and 1 part to the green. Okay, so they've all got a piece. Yeah, now we can do the same with the other pieces of fruit, because we can split 1 piece of fruit into 5 pieces. If you remember yesterday, I showed you an apple which I cut into 3 pieces. This would be the same. These pieces of fruit are cut into 5 because there's 5 children. So we can write our answer as a fraction, which shows 4/5. Okay, there's not enough pieces of fruit for the children to have 1 each, because there needs to be 5 pieces of fruit for that to happen, doesn't it? Because each child will then get a whole piece. If there's 5 pieces of fruit, 5 children, but there's not. There's only 4 pieces of fruit. Okay, so they will get 4/5 each. Okay, try this one then. So there are 9 pieces of fruit in the fruit bowl and 5 children who would like some fruit. If they share the fruit equally, what fraction of fruit will they get each? Okay, so again, pause the video, have a think, see if you can work it out. Okay, can you write your answer as an improper fraction and a mixed number? Now, do you remember what they are? So remember, an improper fraction has a numerator which is larger than the denominator, and a mixed number has a whole number with a fraction, with a proper fraction. Okay, so if you have a mixed number, it can't be improper fraction. It has to be a mixed and a proper fraction. Okay. So hopefully your improper fraction would be 9/5 because you've got 9 pieces of fruit. So they're the things that you're dividing equally. And you've got 5 parts which your whole has been divided into. Okay, so you've got 5 children that all would like a piece of fruit, but you've got 9 pieces to share. Okay, so we know that there is one group of 5 in 9. Okay, so like we spoke about yesterday, we've got 9 here which we need to share, but 5 children. So we can count 5 pieces of fruit. So we know they've got one bit each, one whole piece of fruit each. Okay, so we can write that as our mixed number, our one whole. But how many left over do we have? Okay, we've got 4 left over because 5 goes into 9 once with 4 left over. So where's our 4 going to go? It's going to go as our numerator. So each child will have one whole piece of fruit and 4/5 of a piece of fruit. Remember, the denominator stays the same. We don't change that, okay? So if we've got an improper fraction and we change it to a mixed number, the denominator will stay the same. Okay, talk to your partner. How could we represent these fractions on a number line? Is it even possible? Have a chat. Again, if you're at home, it'd be really helpful if you could talk to somebody about this, but if not, okay, write something down or just really stretch your brain, have a think. Okay, if you are at home and you haven't got anyone to talk to at the moment, see if you can think about if you can put them on, and if you can, where would they go? Okay, so hopefully you've had some really good partner talk there. So we can see that our whole is 3, okay? And each part has been divided into 5. Sorry, our whole is 1 and our parts are divided into 5, okay? So each line represents 1/5, but we've got 3 wholes, okay? Sorry if I didn't make that clear. So our whole is here, is 1. So how many fifths have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this is our 5/5. But we have got 3 wholes. So thinking about our first one then, 3/5, where would that go on the number line? Is it possible to put it on? It is, yeah. Providing our scale is correct and we have got enough intervals for our denominator, we can do it. So 3/5, okay, this is 1/5. Okay, so now you should be able to identify where 3/5 are, which is going to go here. How about this one then, 9/5? How are you going to put 9/5 on a number line? Okay, so we need to convert this into a mixed number. Okay, so a mixed number. So we know that 5 goes into 9 once. Okay, so we're going to have 1 whole, and there's going to be 4 left over. Okay, so it's going to show it like this. We can, of course, just count 9/5, okay, to just check our answer. Okay, so we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that the same as 1 4/5? It is. Okay, so you could do it both ways, but we've changed it into a mixed number. And then finally 2 2/5. So our whole number is 2, so we know it's not going to be below 2, but it's not as big as 3. Okay, so it's going to go between 2 and 3. So 2 1/5, 2 2/5. Okay. How could we show 5/5? Now I briefly spoke about this just a second ago, so hopefully you were listening well. How could we show 5/5? 5/5, as we learnt on, I think it was Tuesday, is the same as 1 whole. Okay, so if we've got 5/5, this is 3/5 here, 4/5, and we could say 5/5 because it's equivalent to 1 whole, because 5/5 is 5 out of 5, isn't it? Okay, or 5 divided by 5 will give you the same answer. Okay, so this time I'd like you to draw the number line in your book, okay, using a ruler so it's nice and neat, and I'd like you to draw the exact same timeline. So you have to make sure you have included 1, 2, 3 equal intervals between each number. Okay, so pause the video, take your time in making sure that's drawn really neatly, okay, and then I'd like you to add on the fractions. Okay, so once you've drawn your timeline, come back and we'll do it together. Okay, so hopefully you've got a really lovely neat timeline drawn on your books. So let's start with the first one then. 4 out of 4, 4 divided by 4, or 4/4. We can say each of those ways. Where is it going to go? So hopefully you'd remember that 4/4 is the same as 1 whole. Okay, so we are going to put that under our 1. Next we've got 9/4. So this is a what fraction? It is an improper fraction, okay? So our larger number is on the numerator and our smaller number is on the denominator. So we need to divide 9 by 4. How many 4s go into 9? 2, so that's our whole number. So that will make 8, so 2 4s are 8. And then how many we've got left? We've got 1. So we've got 2 1/4. Okay, so where is 2 1/4 going to go? Or 2 1/4? This is 2, this is 3. Okay, so we're going to put it just here. And then finally we've got 1/4. Now I've tricked you a little bit because I didn't want you to think it was going to go over here. Well, I thought you might automatically think it would go there. 1/4, hopefully you've realised it'd go all the way back over here. So it's just 1/4, okay? So it's not a whole, we haven't got any whole numbers because it's not a mixed fraction, it's not a mixed number. It's just a proper fraction, okay? Excellent job. Okay, we can also represent fractions using bar models. So this mixed number tells us we have 1 whole and 4/5, okay? How could we show this as an improper fraction? So we've spent quite a bit of time converting improper fractions to mixed numbers. Now we're going to do it the other way around. So how can we do that? How can we represent that using a bar model? Okay, so 1 whole and 4/5 tells us that our whole has been divided by 5, okay? It's in fifths, so there's 5 pieces. Now we know that 1 whole is 5/5, okay? So this number 1 here is represented by a whole bar which is filled in. Then we know that our fraction is 4/5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So notice, as I said, that we've got our boxes which have been divided into 5 for our denominator. So now all we need to do for our improper fraction is to count how many parts we have overall. So we've got our whole, which is 5, and then we have our fraction, which is 4. So we can see that there are 9/5 because our denominator still stays the same. So there's 9/5. Have a go at this one. So this mixed number tells us we have 1 whole and 2/6. Okay, let's have a look again. So we know our denominator is going to have a 6 because that doesn't change. Okay, and then we're going to represent it with the bar model. So this time it's been divided into 6 pieces. Okay, and we've got our whole, which is 1 whole here, which is 6 out of 6 pieces, and then we have our fraction, which is 2 out of the 6. So altogether we have 8. Our fraction is 8/6. If our denominator is 5, how could we show 3 as an improper fraction? Now this is quite tricky, but I will give you a hint because we know that 5/5 is 1 whole. Okay, so 5/5 is 1 whole. How can we find out what 3 wholes are? Okay, so that is 1 whole. So if we make 2 wholes and 3 wholes, how many equal parts have we got all together? Okay, so you can count them, or if you know this is 5, you can do 5 times 3, and you should get 15 as your whole, as your parts. Okay, so you've got 15 parts over your whole. So it's 15 over 5. Because then we can divide, like if we make it back into a mixed number, we can divide 15 by 5, which gives us the answer of 3. Okay, so it's a whole number, just 3. We don't need to write a fraction next to it because there's nothing left over. Okay, so your independent practice now. What I'd like you to do today is to convert these mixed numbers to improper fractions, drawing bar models to help you. So just like we've been doing, so make sure you look at the denominator to see how many equal parts your whole needs to be divided into. Okay, so you're just converting your mixed numbers to your improper numbers, okay, improper fractions. Okay, so you know that this one here, we've got 3 wholes. Okay, so how many are 3 wholes if they've been divided equally between 3? And then there's 2 extra, which you need to add on to that. So think carefully about those. Pause the video, rewind the video as many times as you need to, okay, if you want to recap and go over it again. But pause the video, answer those, making sure you're drawing your bar models, okay, and then come back for your final thought and the answers. Okay, your final thought then, can you spot the mistake? Okay, so somebody has answered these questions. What mistakes have they made, if any? Pause the video so you can go through those. See if you can identify the mistakes. It's probably helpful to work them out yourself. Okay. Okay, so 27/5 then. So 27 we know can be easily divided by 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. But then we've got 27. So actually, rather than 1/5 left over, we've got 2/5 left over. Okay, because it goes into 27 5 times to make 25 with 2 left. Okay, 27 divided by 3. Okay, they've said 8. Now I know my times tables, and I know that I can times something by 3 to get to 27. I can times 9 by 3, which means I can divide 27 by 3 to get 9. 27 divided by 4 equals 5 with 7/4. And that doesn't make sense. Okay, because we shouldn't, if we've got a mixed number, it shouldn't be an improper fraction. A mixed number has always got a proper fraction. Okay, so we know that 27 divided by 6 is 24, and then we've got 3 left over from our 27. So the answer is 6 3/4. And then finally, we've got 27 divided by 10. Okay, 27 divided by 10, I can definitely not fit 10 in 27 20 times. Okay, it's 2 times with 7/10 as remainders, as an improper fraction. Okay, well done if you got those. Some of those are a little bit tricky. Okay, and here are your answers for your independent practice. Okay, so the first one is 11 over 3, or 11 divided by 3. Making sure you're writing it as an improper fraction though. 14 over 3, 12 over 5, 16 over 4, and hopefully you have drawn some beautiful bar charts, bar graphs, bar models even, with your rulers, and that you can send me so I can have a look and check. Excellent job guys, well done for today. As I say, you're working really, really hard for your fractions, so keep going. And of course, any questions or anything you're unsure of, ask somebody in the classroom if you're at school, or pop Mr. B or I a message on Discord, okay, if you need any extra help. But really, really try your best. Don't worry if you're really struggling with it, because fractions are tricky, and just try the best you can. Well done. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you later.